I'm Sarah Tilley from Curious Maths. I'm a primary maths consultant based in London and I've been in education for over 20 years. I'm a huge fan of using maths storybooks to teach some concepts and ideas. I've got a huge bookcase full of them right next to me, and I just find it's a really engaging way of approaching a maths topic, and children really like to share a story and get quite excited actually when they discover they're going to do some maths from that story. So it's a winner. And if you're a teacher or a parent at home, what I find is that it's really easy to attach the maths to something tangible then and give it a bit of flow as the week goes on. So I really enjoy that idea. So I've already done one video and that's all about How Big is a Million, but this time I'm going to be talking about this amazing book. So this is called Have You Seen My Dragon? And it's written by Steve Light, who also illustrates it, and it's a beautifully illustrated book. So it's a counting book, so there's absolutely loads of maths in it. So in this video I'm going to give you a synopsis of the story, and then I'm going to give you some ideas that you could use at home or in your class at school, all different ideas that link to the book that are all maths related. I hope you find it useful. So here's the book Have You Seen My Dragon by Steve Light, who also illustrated it. So this book is suitable for children between the ages of 5 and 7. So some of the activities I've suggested are particularly suitable for Year 1 because they match the national curriculum objectives in maths perfectly. But you could absolutely extend it and build on the ideas if you're a Year 2 teacher. And I think you could also simplify it if you wanted to use it in the early years. So this book is all about a little lad who is trying to find his dragon. And it's a countable book, the numbers go up to 20, and on each page there is a numeral and a word which describes the thing they are going to count. And he goes around and asks everybody, have you seen my dragon? And you'll notice there the dog has spotted the dragon. He wonders if his dragon maybe had stopped for a hot dog. And again, you'll notice he has stopped for a hot dog. He's just about to munch it out of that gentleman's hand. And he wonders if he perhaps went into town on the bus. Now this page is a fantastic example of these beautiful illustrations, and you could use this page for more than just talking about the 3 buses. There are so many different things that are countable on here, and always keep asking the children, where is the dragon? And you'll notice he's up here on top of the building. He wonders if he went for a swim or maybe for a drink of water, and yes, indeed he has. And the little boy there is asking the guy who's fixing it if he has seen his dragon. And in this example, again, this is why it's really worth looking at the illustrations carefully, you'll notice that one of the monkeys has actually got a branch and he's trying to get the keys. So lots of discussion around what's going on. Some of the pages you have to rotate, like the 7 boxes page, and you can see the dragon there. And also the fire hydrants page is a really great one because as you rotate the book, all these different houses become the right way round. And so the story continues, looking for the dragon and counting the objects. So it's a beautifully drawn book. Obviously, I think it will really capture the children's imagination, and you can spend quite a lot of time looking at the pictures and talking about the dragon. And if you look here, the smoke that the dragon's blowing is actually coming out the top. So he hasn't found his dragon yet, but he's close. And so the story continues. So what I've done is I've put together some suggestions that could go with this book, and I've based it on the Year 1 National Curriculum for Maths. And the idea really is, I don't know your class and I don't know you and I don't know your school, so I haven't suggested use of additional adults or differentiation, but I've put together some ideas that I thought you might like. I haven't done an idea for every page, but I've done lots just to get you going. So let's move over and look at the ideas that can go with this wonderful book. So here are the National Curriculum Objectives for Year 1 in England, and lots of the activities you're going to see next are going to be related to these objectives. But as I mentioned before, I think it's really easy to extend to Year 2. For example, Year 2 need to know some of the same things as Year 1 but more fluently, and also to make it slightly easier and use some of the basic ideas perhaps for early years. Before you even start reading the book, you could get them excited by getting them a little toy dragon, and you could decide as a class what the name could be and let them know they're going to be sharing a story about dragons the next week and doing some maths. Now you could either do the next idea when you started the book or before, and we could pretend the dragon has been really naughty in the classroom, perhaps when they've gone out to play or at lunchtime, and you can leave them all clues and they can try and think what could have been in their classroom, and over time they will start to link and work out that it could be the dragon. So there are some ideas on the screen about what I suggest you could do. I think some purple paint and a massive footprint might be a fun one. What about an empty ice cream tub? Another way to introduce the book could be by creating a wow factor by having a dragon in your classroom. Now obviously with young children you'll have to work out whether this might terrify them or whether they'd enjoy it. It might be worth doing some discussion around how even friendly dragons breathe fire. Anyway, this app is free. It's called FX Guru, and when you go into it there's lots of different options, and I went for the dragon fire one, and I've got an example of the 99p, the most basic example, in my back garden. So it's fantastic for a playground, school hall or classroom, anywhere with a big space, and you can lay a trail perhaps and children can try and find out where the dragon might have been. In the next part of the video, I've taken some pages directly from the book and put together some ideas that you could use in your classroom or at home. The book starts with one dragon, so what a brilliant opportunity to make a dragon using multi-link cubes or Unifix cubes. Lots of maths questions you can pose to the children or have on cards ready for them to answer, like how many cubes altogether, how many red cubes, how many cubes make up your dragon's head, how many cubes in your partner's dragon, who's got more, who's got less, whose dragon is taller and shorter, larger and smaller. To support with all this maths, you can provide sentence stems to help them with their discussion, and you could capture their ideas through photographs, and children could record a couple of sentences using the sentence stems about what they found out. It's time to make hot dogs out of Play-Doh. And if you didn't want to mix the colours, then you could perhaps make the Play-Doh out for the bun and then use Cuisinart or straws for the sausage. So children make hot dogs and they can present it on sugar paper, and then underneath they could write the numeral and the word, and then they could play a little game where perhaps there's a table or in pairs where they get to order hot dogs from each other, and a child could choose how many they want and the partner has to put them onto a paper plate and hand them to their customer. And this will allow loads of discussion, loads of full sentences, asking for the hot dogs, checking they've got enough hot dogs, counting the hot dogs. It's really good fun. The 3 buses page is definitely one of my favourite pages because it's a brilliant counting page with so much else to count apart from buses. Children tend to really like transport, don't they? So perhaps collect some toy buses and let children look at them and hold them and count how many windows and doors they can see. You could also make a class bus using chairs in twos, and you get children to get on and off the bus, and as a class you have to count how many children are on the bus and really encourage that use of full sentences to describe what they see. And an activity for the table could be to print out a template like the one shown of a bus. Really great idea to do it in a tens frame, and children could roll a dice or turn a spinner or get some Numicon and put some small wool people in the bus. I couldn't resist linking the 4 sailing ships because so many children like anything to do with water and under the sea. So perhaps linking to the book they could make their own sailing ship picture using paper plates, or perhaps a template and they could decorate it using lollipop sticks. And you can give them lots of questions around maths for the pictures they're making, like how many sailors has it got, how many oars, how many fish have you got in the sea. Alternatively, you could give them particular instructions that you want them to follow, so your picture must have 4 sails, and they could label the picture with numerals and words. You could also, if you don't want to get the paint out, give Cuisinart or Numicon and they can make their ship out of that. In the storybook, one of the monkeys is trying to steal the zookeeper's keys, so this is a great opportunity to do some fine motor skills and some maths at the same time. So if you get a selection of padlocks and keys and jumble them all up, just like the picture in the screen, children can match the key in the padlock to try and free the Numicon. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you could give clues like the key you need is 1 more than 4. And also you could do a really great class challenge if you got one of those combination padlocks, and children have to work out the combination by counting. So you could give them clues like the first number is equal to how many children in the front row, etc. It's really good fun. 7 boxes. Children seem to love little boxes, and I always used to make sure I had some Christmas decorations like the ones on the screen in my classroom, and I'd always put numerals on the bottom, so you can do a great little matching game. They can turn the box over and can they match the number that they see to the piece of pneumacon, to the word, to a dice pattern, to a calculation, etc. And using the 7 from the book, you could give them multi-link cubes so they can stack their boxes, give them 2 different colours, and they can find out all the different combinations of boxes that make equal 7, and they can record the calculations pictorially with symbols and words, and also then they can see if they can represent it with pneumacon or Cuisenaire or 2-sided counters. The number 10 links to number bonds, so you can give the children a tens frame as their paint palette, and they too could be artists. Using 2 colours they could paint their palette, and underneath they could show the different calculations by writing it with numerals and writing it with words. Another idea would be to maybe give them some paint pots. Now I think these are actually small plant pots, but put a number inside and children choose a pot and write that number down and then represent it with pneumacon, putting it over a pneumacon 10. And this is a missing number question, so the children have to work out what other number they need to equal 10. And once they've done that using pneumacon, they can try and find the pot with it in. Number 13 in the story is represented with ice creams, and how many 5 to 7-year-olds don't want to do a bit of ice cream maths? So I've collected some ideas that I found online, and perhaps to make them even better I might ask the children to write the words underneath the numerals on their pictures, and with the sponge painting I might give particular instructions like put 5 blue sequins on, put 3 yellow sequins on, and then I might ask them to count how many sequins they've got all together and ask them what would happen if I took a few away. Some more ideas with sticky notes, rolling a dice, finding a total and representing it in different colours. And I really like these ice cream shop ideas. So we've got some Minty Madness where children have to decorate an ice cream with certain ingredients. And we've also got a fantastic ice cream shop where children can go along and make their own combinations. And you can see there's plenty of opportunities to add number to all of these ideas. Quite a few pages in the book lend themselves to addition and subtracted worded problems, because all of them suggest some kind of movement, like the pigeons flying away or the dogs arriving at the park. So you could use the book and act out problems using children or objects where possible, and you could use these themes to give a context to the problem so the children can make sense of the real life situation, and then they can build the problem using a range of manipulatives like pneumacon, Cuisenaire and counters. Try and capture the build where possible through photographs and encourage the children to make that connection with what they've built to what they might draw in the books, and that really helps them remember how they solved the problems. At the end of the book, the little boy finally finds his dragon, and he finds him in Chinatown where he'd left him. And it's at this stage we find the biggest number in the book, the number 20, and that's represented with 20 lanterns. So there's some ideas on the screen of what you could do around using lanterns, and actually the picture is used for a slightly different example, but I would just adapt that, and instead of matching the colour, perhaps I'd match the number. Now because it's the number 20, it obviously links really well to number bonds, so you could do lots of activities around number bonds to 20 using all the different things that you've discovered in the story. One of the things I really love about this book is the beautiful map that you can find at the front and at the back of the book. And whenever I've shown it to children, they can't help themselves but put their finger on the arrows and trace the journey that the little boy went on to find his dragon. There's so many ideas that you could do. One of them could be that because the numerals are marked really clearly, you could give children multi-link and they can make tower stacks to represent the numbers. And you could mix those stacks up, and can they spot the mistake and put them back in the right place? They could match the numerals to the map with words and flashcards. You could point to numbers and children could write it in words or make it with pneumacon, etc. And there's loads of opportunity for problem solving. If you have a class dragon, why not hide it every day and ask children, have you seen my dragon? It's a great opportunity to use lots of prepositional language like above and below. And over time, hearing your great examples, children will be able to hide the dragon themselves and give clues. If you're feeling creative, why not make some special dragon's eggs like the ones on screen? There's loads of ideas for that online, and I think children would love it. And if not, maybe give them a template of a dragon's egg, get them to decorate it and use them as flashcards for lots of different maths activities. Kinder Surprise eggs, although plastic, are very useful because you can hide numbers inside and calculations for children to work out. I love a bit of dot to dot. It's great for counting and ordering numbers, so see if you can get any dragon ones online. And perhaps even put a class jigsaw out. A dragon one would be ideal, wouldn't it? And children would love to have opportunities to put bits in and try and complete that over the week. You can get some dragon top trumps, and lots of children really enjoy that. And also you could get the children to make their own counting book based on losing something and trying to find it, just like the example they've been shown. There are loads of ideas for making dragons online, and I've just put the one on the screen that I particularly like, but there's loads to choose from. And obviously I think dragons make great displays. Those are my ideas of lots of different maths activities that you could do at home or in school around the book Have You Seen My Dragon? If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and comment, and I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. For more maths ideas, please head over to my primary maths page, Curious Maths, on Facebook. Thanks for watching.